Transit TV, welcome back to our AFCON studios. We have made it all the way to the finals. Guys, you can see we brought you all the highlights and all the insights in the important games throughout this tournament. We are back to the last two games of the tournament. Of course, the top place will be coming up tomorrow between DR Congo and South Africa. And the ultimate prize on Sunday. It's going to be a tough game. I'm sure it's going to be a classic. It's going to go down as one of the classics of AFCON history between the host Cote d'Ivoire and the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We know the history between these two clubs, these two countries is always tough when they meet. These are two giants of football in Africa, former champions in this tournament. They're going to lock horns tomorrow. The interesting one about tomorrow's Sunday's own is that Cote d'Ivoire is the host. So this adds more spice to this encounter. And with me today to look at this game, ahead of the epic clash on Sunday is a return for Nimi, who's been away from the studios all through this tournament. We have a return also from Jude, our man from the UK. Choma is here with the word on the street. And of course, my man, Ugum, very reliable. They were all here today to look at this game and see who will come tops. At the end of this one, of course, we're going to have our predictions. So stick around and hear what the guys are going to say. Guys, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, Choma, good to see you again. Sorry, I know it's been a little tough for you to meet up with the schedule this time around, but we're happy we have you here today with the word on the street. Let us know what's going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, Wabali is the hero.
Yeah, it feels so good to actually be live in Nigeria at this time. It would have been crazy to be in Ivory Coast at this time, but I'm still in Nigeria getting all the vibes, and I have all the words on the street.
Okay.
That day was I found myself in a very tiny viewing center because I had moved to this new area. So I went to check out the viewing center and it was mind-blowing. I had boys and men and women and children come together to watch Super Eagles beat the Bayana, however they say it, of South Africa. And to think they had actually put up their Amapiano for grabs. They put up their genre, their music genre, and said that if we win, they would give us the music. So I'm so happy to report to all of us that we now own the Amapiano. Thank you, South Africa. Thank you
the Amapiano dance is now an offshoot of
our piano now. Our piano.
What do they call it? The Afro beat. Okay,
yeah.
So we're going to wait for Don Jazzy to drop something on that for us to spice it up. Yeah, let's jump on it. Uguma, you there?
Yeah, my pleasure to be here. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like you have internet issue. Let's see how you deal with that. So Nimi, let me start with you today that your return. I'm of the opinion that in the last game, because of the inavailability of Seydou, the coach kind of tinkered with the setup of the team and played a flat four using Iwobi and Onyeka in the middle. And both of them, I don't think any of them is an actual defensive midfielder, which affected the team. I could see that there was a gap between our midfield and our defense. And South Africa tried to exploit that space, especially in the first half in that game. Though eventually the team set up when he brought in Yusuf, he kind of took care of that a little bit. Do you think the coach will return back to the setup that the team used throughout the tournament before the semi-finals, where he played a back three and a mid four, then with Haruna Lukman and Simon behind Osimhen, which gave Super Eagles a more compact setup and made sure that they did not concede goals throughout this tournament? I don't know. Do you think he should return to that template, or continue with this because what he did in the semi-final kind of gave Super Eagles a more expansive approach to the game, which Nigerians have been calling for, but he exposed the difference a little bit more, if you ask me my own opinion. I don't know what you think.
First of all, thank you for having me again. It's a new year. Happy to see everybody here. So really excited about that. From my perspective, the last game against South Africa, I think I may be wrong, but from my observation, I think he played 5 defending, 3 attacking in the back. So you had a 2 wing back. He still left everything as it is, but he just replaced the Seydu because Seydu was injured, and what you call him, Olaine had to go to the left wing back, and you have the other dude on the right wing back. I think my only thing about it is this. That coach is a disciple of Jose Mourinho, and that is why when people were saying he was actually recommended by Jose Mourinho. I don't know if you guys understand where they asked. NFF said we can't fire him because Jose Mourinho recommended him. So from my own perspective, again, what I see is the only difference between him and Mourinho is you got to make changes. In the 5th game, you could see the game against South Africa. The first half, Iwobi looked so legged. He couldn't walk. He couldn't run. He couldn't do his actual. He was giving balls away. Moses Simon, the same thing. Frank the Tank, he's been awesome. But against Ivory Coast in the final, it will be really tough because where I see the game being won and lost is going to be in the middle of the pack. Remember, the Ivory Coast team we're going to be playing on Sunday is quite a different Ivory Coast team we played on the second game of the group stage. Right now, they are in with Faye, the coach, and you can see the hula baloo that happened where they fired their coach in the group stage. They thought they were going. They went to Renard for France to get him for the French women team. He said no, and they still stuck with Faye, and you could see there from Senegal to Mali to Congo. They got that balls. They are going. I see that midfield of, as you can see, he brought in, I've forgotten the dude's name, the defensive midfielder, the short guy.
Is it Seri?
Seri, yeah, he brought Seri in. That has given them stability. Before now, Sangara, Kessie, and Fofana, they were all the same mold of players, always busting in. Who was going to sit? They didn't have a sitter. Now you have Seri, that dedicated 6 that sits there. And I'll tell you something, it's going to be a dicey game. It's going to be a tough game. For the Super Eagles, I think for the Super Eagles, we just got to keep that continuity going. It's going to be tough. But I see a game where, again, this game is going to be won with Iwobi and Frank the Tank Onyeka. If they put the same performance that they put against South Africa in the first half, I think Nigeria will struggle. But in all, I'm a Nigerian, a patriotic Nigerian in that regard. So I think the Super Eagles will nick this by 1 goal.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that. Iwobi and Frank Onyeka, they have really been vital to what Super Eagles have done this tournament. Unfortunately, when the biggest game they have played so far before the finals, both of them were a little bit fan wanting, and I think it was more of a positional discipline. They like not like what you said about Cote d'Ivoire. We didn't have a sitter in the midfield for our midfield, and that exposed our defense a little bit. I always saw one South African player behind our midfielders in front of our defense, and for me, in the middle of our defense, we don't have pace. So they try to exploit that. Thank God for the ingenuity of Wabali, who played the sweeper keeper role for Super Eagles on that day and sniffed off all the attempts that Bafana made on the goal. So, Ascote, let me touch base with you. What should the Super Eagles worry about most because in this in this Cote d'Ivoire national team? What do you think that they need to do? They need to stifle against Cote d'Ivoire to get anything good from this win, from this game?
All right. For me, the Super Eagles have to, on that day, contend with the 12th man.
Your volume is a little low. I can hear you, but it's low.
Can you hear me?
Are you guys hearing him very well?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So what I mean is that the Super Eagles on that day need to contend with the fans, the Ivorian fans. They are going to be quite a mix in that encounter. So what I expect, apart from the technicalities, which Nimi has really explained a lot about, I will expect the Super Eagles to be more disciplined in this game. There is no need going over their head. It's going to be, for me, it's going to be a game of 90 minutes, and the team with the most discipline is going to win that game. It doesn't matter how many goals they're going to score, but we're going to see a lot of from the Nigerian side. I would expect the coach, to let the boys calm down to play their game, and the Ivorians have grown into the competition. When nobody gave them a chance. Some people say they came in through the qualified through the back door, came in and have gone all the way to the finals. Well, in as much as people may count them lucky, somehow at this level, some people may term them as the underdog compared to the Nigerians who have been blowing, firing through to this moment. So, but nobody is going to underrate them. Nobody's going to underrate them, and that's kind of some of the reasons why I'm a bit worried. That Nigeria is celebrating qualification to the finals as if it's celebrating the cup. So what such things do, if people don't have the discipline, is to go into the field feeling that yes, we beat them before and we're going to beat them again. This is football. It's 50-50. Everybody has got the same opportunity. They have quite some interesting players, the likes of Seji Aurier, and who can run on the wings and all of that. But again, the Nigerian boys too equally need to up their game. We have seen what they can do, from the wings with Moses Simon connecting, and then Victor Osimhen putting on a lot of physical work. I'm not worried if Victor Osimhen has been unlucky putting balls behind the net and VAR calling them back or fouls and all of that. For the kind of player that he is, and it's good for him to maintain what he has been doing. Being a nuisance, to the defenders, and running at them when the opportunity comes. He has done that pretty well, gotten penalty and all of that. So it also shows that quality that he has. So he has to be very slick in this final match. And who knows, it might just be his game. By taking his chances, putting those chances away. He might just be, for me, I feel he's going to be the hero of this final encounter if everything, has to be equal for the Nigerian squad. Yes, the coach for me has somehow, figured out how to play the team. The back line has been, solid as we have never seen before. For me, in a very long while in the Super Eagles. We have a goalkeeper who has come from nowhere, and then has dazzled everybody, who has been literally the greatest revelation in this tournament for Nigeria. we can only wish he continues on that trajectory in this final game. But if we don't keep the discipline, if people in front of him do not maintain the discipline, that at a higher level, then the Ivorians will not make mistakes of reaching him, over and over on Sunday. So I expect them to I expect the coach to start the game with a four-man backline, and then probably if he is able to nick in a goal, and then he could be more expansive, in the second period of the game with a three-man, and then trying to choke the midfield with an extra man. So that's what I expect him to do. But going forward, we know that we are a bit short because, this team is not lucky to have a creative midfielder, somebody who can split passes and, control the tempo of the game. We've not got that for a very long time since we were some veterans, left the game. People like JJ Oruma and one other guy, but this is what we've got, and we have to play to the strength of the people that are available. If we have had that creativity in the middle of the pack, I believe it would have been a much more dangerous squad because of the guys we've got in front with their pace and all of that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I hear you and I agree with almost everything you said right there. The one thing that this coach has done is to be pragmatic. I think he had a very hard look on what is available to him, and he was able to fashion out a style of play that suited the quality of the players, and he has gotten a result with it. Choma, let's touch base with you right quick there on the word on the street. I know Nigerians are people who like football, who with tricks and skills. And in the beginning of the tournament, one of the complaints that Super Eagles fans back home had was that the team was not that vibrant. They were not flamboyant in their approach. It was more of just get the goals. But in the last game, for me, I think the Super Eagles tried to be a little bit expansive, and they lost grip of that game a little bit because they've not been used to it. So I don't know, from your perspective and from what you're hearing on the street, are people agreeing with that the coach should stick with what he has been doing? We don't need any flamboyance. We just need to win this game and come home with the cup. What are you hearing on the street? Are people leaning more to enjoying the game or just winning the trophy?
Yeah, I was listening to Niger Info as Abuja, and a caller said he thinks he needs to stick to what he has been going with. Because according to him, he says this is the format, the people that have won him what he has been winning through the tournament. So he doesn't think there's a need to tweak it a little or, add or subtract some players. People are thinking that it's not a Premier League game where you are gunning for 3 points or whatever. A goal is good enough for you. All you have to do is just make sure you win, so you don't have to do anything extra. But, because I followed the game from their first game, I don't want to beat anybody, beat anybody up. Just like Jude mentioned, we don't have that, our midfield isn't really the powerhouse it should be, seeing what we've got at the wings and all of that. Do you understand? It had we, experienced Ndidi in this tournament, I believe it would have been different. Okay, if Ndidi were to be here, it would have been different, but he isn't. So we have Iwobi and we have Onyeka. And personally, I think Onyeka has been exceptional for me. I mean, it's not like I don't pay him any mind at his club in England, but yeah, I look at him because he's a brother and I like him for the kind of footballer he is. But for this tournament, what he's done as a DM, he's been a rock. I mean, the reason why people are not really celebrating him is because he's the only person doing the dirty work that nobody can do that. So people tend to not tilt towards an untidy player. He takes few punches, gets himself dirty when he has to. He's always fighting. So I would say kudos to Onyeka because he actually became a different kind of person in this Super Eagles formation. And then to my dearest darling, Iwobi. I mean, I kept saying this is not the Iwobi Arsenal gave to Everton, by the way. I don't know what they did to him, but of course, he's a star boy, so he will come back to what he is known for. But the creativity that we're lacking in this midfield is why we are ailing and why we might ail if we don't make it happen. Because judging from the last game we played with South Africa, they played a five-man defense, which was supposed to be a punishment for them. Had we, had that power in the midfield that would punish them as much as we wanted to. But we kept struggling. We were losing ball in the middle. We weren't meeting up in the middle. G and stand. Onyeka is pursuing this way. Iwobi who has the ball. He doesn't hold the ball, and all of that. So personally, I think that for the sake of this last game, we can do a Joe Aribo. Come on, everybody. I mean, this guy, he's same player from Rangers. Okay? I know Southampton actually are not in the Premier League, roughing it up in Championship, but Joe Aribo can hold. Joe can distribute. I just feel, we should trust him in the finals. But what do I know? The coach is a coach, by the way.
Okay, yeah, Ugum, I know you can't wait to jump on this one. Let's stop at your place. I don't know. Have you been able to identify areas where Super Eagles has superiority over Cote d'Ivoire? And how do you think, what do you think is the best way to harness that advantage?
Yeah, thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. You rightly said it. I cannot wait to weigh in on this. Essentially because whenever I hear that name, Iwobi, my antenna goes off because he's a player I'm particularly fond of and a player I particularly take pains to defend. I went to Facebook yesterday after that game, and I saw a post by one of the journalists that report on Arsenal, based on the fact that Iwobi had played for Arsenal in the past. He reported, that the Nigeria was into the final, and posted a few pictures of Nigerian players playing in the EPL. Of course, of Iwobi. Went to the picture for Iwobi, looked under it, and of course, hundreds of, if not thousands of Nigerians were there insulting Iwobi and calling him all kinds of names. Yeah, I thought about what to say in that page. Essentially, what I just did was drop a word and say, "Hey, Iwobi, we support you. We support you and your teammates. Wish you the best for the final." And I left it at that. And quite a few people liked my statement and all that. So Nigerians are people that are prone to extremities. We come out and the people just come out and say all the kinds of stuff without properly even analyzing stuff. And we claim to know a lot about football. Of course, everybody in Nigeria is a coach. Now, the way Iwobi is being deployed in that team, we're talking about creativity. There are different kinds of creativity, I guess, because he's probably associated with culture. People expect him to be an culture. His own kind of creativity is completely different from JJ. JJ is a master dribbler. JJ is actually a genius of a footballer, one in a generation kind of player. It's very because he's the only player in that squad that is as early can really play early. Plays him more like a quarter than a per AM. I can tell you that if he was the per AM right in front of 18-yard box with wrong, he created more than we. But you see, most of the time is closer to the center circle.
I've lost Ogum there. I think he's been having connection issue throughout the.
I think I can tap into Ogum, what Ogum is saying.
Yeah.
You know what Ogum is trying to say. Nigerians, when people talk, oh, Iwobi is this, Iwobi is that. I'm like, I actually wonder if these people, with all due respect, actually know the game of soccer.
Exactly.
Iwobi is being played. There's no creative midfielder in that
setup.
In the midfield too. In that setup, we are built for a counter-attacking football. That's why you see when the goals we go in, they lose the ball. That's how we killed Cameroon. Quick. Everybody goes. So there's no time for a creative a number 10 as Nigerians a number 10 as Nigerians are thinking is that person you have two sitting and you have a 10, a free role like an Ozil. Iwobi is not asked to do that role right now for the Super Eagles. You talk about Aribo. You bring Aribo in there to that game, it's over. Nigeria will not be able to play. Aribo, a player that cannot even get into Southern Team Division 1 team. Is that the player you want in Super Eagles? No. But what I'm saying is Aribo does not even have the energy that is required for a midfield 2. We're not playing a midfield 3. We're playing a midfield 2. The midfield 2, Onyeka does the dirty job. Iwobi heat map. The heat map is always in the middle and be close to our goalpost. They have to protect and go on a quick.
Yeah, and he has been the one that mops up the second, box. In the left that game South Africa. I don't think.
Thank you, Mimi. Network doesn't want to allow me to say what I want to say. Anyway.
Comrade, I said I'm speaking on your. Today I'm wearing that the green bandana, and I'm putting it on. I'm speaking on your behalf.
So Nigerians are scapegoating this player because they're expecting. Number one, is not what the coach has asked him to do. I know he has the talent and ability to do it if he's played in the right role, but he is sacrificing. Now you talked about energy. I completely agree. Aribo probably has that skill and all that, but he cannot stay in that circle and defend and attack and make that difference. In the mission. He has the talent.
Yeah, we have tried.
He has played some games. Yeah, in terms of defense splitting passes, it might be a little better, but Nimi said, I agree with Nimi.
But Chama,
he doesn't have the energy to.
Chama, say something. I'm not even beating. See, I am not beating up Iwobi. I am not beating him up, but there is something. There's something that is lacking. Is it
Osborne, comrade, let me just say something. I'm a man that goes with statistics and facts. Remember 2 seasons ago when Iwobi played, even last season, when Iwobi played as a 10 for Everton, did you see all the assists he was given?
And goals.
You know why? Choma, you know why? He was close, no. Hear me out. He was playing closer to the goal, to the post. There were two. You had two. You had a Faye and you had Onana on that midfield. He couldn't do. Right now, he's being played. He's been asked to take up. That's why you see Nigerian possession. Average possession is 45%.
Yeah, Iwobi actually plays behind Onyeka. Onyeka does the box-to-box
so you can't have a creative midfielder, number 10 Okocha, in a team that has 45% possession.
So please, two more points. 2 more points I wanted to make. Thank you, Nimi. You got it spot on. 2 more points is, number one, we are missing 2 very important players in this tournament that would have made a lot of difference for this squad. One being Ndidi, second being Boniface. Boniface is a forward that's very smart, very mobile, can also play as an AM. Yeah, we're missing Boniface in this tournament, so we are left with out and out forwards in Victor Osimhen, Murphy, and the tall man. All of them are out and out strikers. Watch what Boniface is doing at Dortmund. He's able to link up play in addition to scoring goals. And so you see that gap there with Victor Osimhen killing himself every game to make the runs, come back a little bit, collect the ball closer to the 18-yard box, try and do something. So my final point, second final point is our wingers. Our wingers are part of why we are blaming our midfield so much, right? When I say wingers, I'm talking about Moses Simon. Perhaps Lookman is playing more like an AM. Lookman is doing well, really, yeah. But I'll say people like Zaidu and what's his name again? But I just called now. Moses Simon. If our wingers were a bit more team oriented in the way they play, we will create more chances and score more goals. Our wingers tend to hug the ball. Chukwueze being the most guilty party in this stuff, right? These guys work hard, strain themselves, give the ball to the wingers, help with the creativity we are talking about. Do 1-2s, you know. Then if we're doing pullouts, do a proper pullout that can give Victor Osimhen a chance. Because I not just play that wing. I'm not advocating that he plays it again though, but I put 3 good crosses on the plate for Victor Osimhen in this last game. Something that Zaidu has played for how many games now? Hasn't put a decent cross that will give Osimhen a proper chance to score goals, right? So these are some of the things. So if the blame is going around, Nigerians, please don't scapegoat Iwobi. It's not creativity is not just Iwobi. Creativity is the team playing in a proper way and the coach setting the team up to bring out the best in them. So far,
the thing is, if I would say something, the thing I would say, Nimi, like you mentioned, Mourinho, and liking him to this coach. Mourinho used to say that it's easy for him to win 1-0, and that's what we have seen so far. We don't have wingers. If you look at the setup of that team, Moses Simon and then Lookman kind of play inverted role, left and right behind Osimhen. You know, our actual wingers are Aino and the Zaidu when he played.
Thank you.
You know, so the thing is, we are supposed to be swift in attack and able to defend when we lose the ball. So Osimhen, yes, has not been blessed with quality balls. We need to be a little bit more smarter with our balls at the final third. But for me, what has won Super Eagles these games till now is their defensive approach, the setup.
Yes.
Our defenders, our midfielders, that's what I won us the game.
Reggie.
Lookman has individual brilliance. He has it in him. Simon has it. And Osimhen has it. Sometimes it comes from dribbles. Sometimes it comes from taking chances. So I think for me, Super Eagles should concentrate on being as solid. Like Jude mentioned in the beginning, it's going to be a madhouse against Super Eagles on Sunday. The crowd is good. Remember this boy, Hala, their striker. I was wondering why the fans were so dear to him. I realized that he survived cancer in 2022.
Yeah.
Anytime that guy touches the ball, in all the games I've watched for Cote d'Ivoire, there is this roar by the entire stadium. So Super Eagles are going to need to be ready for that. They need to be defensively solid. I'm not interested in going forward at all. Let's not give away our defensive setup to try to be expansive and score goals. Let's be as solid as we can. Make it difficult for, silence that crowd by, stopping anything they have going forward. Once we can do that, I trust Osimhen, I trust Lookman and Moses Simon to create something, to do something with the individual brilliance. And if this happens, I believe Super Eagles will come off triumph in this game.
And Reggie, just to close you out, and to all the Nigerians that may be watching and everybody watching, and I think Osborne will bear me witness to this. Just looking at that team, the creative players on that team are going to be your Moses Simon and Lookman. Those are the players that have been tasked to do the create. That's why you see when Chukwueze came in, he passed that ball for what's this Terry Murphy. Check out all the goals who scored. The ones Osimhen get, none of them have come from that middle. It has been from the side, quick breaks, and that's how the coach has instructed them to play. Again, Super Eagles is defined logic. There's never been a team that is averaging 45% of possession, that gives possession to the opponent, and have been this little. So whatever that man is cooking, we just want to eat it on Sunday.
So let's go to prediction. I know that we are all Nigerians. I know we all want Nigeria to win. How do we see?
If you cook pot, you make you chop am.
What's our prediction in this game in terms of scores and actual winners?
Wow.
Let the ladies go first.
Okay, Chama, what's the word on the street telling you? What's the scores? Are there going to be goals in this game, or is it going to be the locking
so
game?
So I'm saying we just stick to one goal.
So Nigeria will win 1-0. Is that what you're telling us?
No, my own is 3 goals to 1.
Okay. Ugum?
I'll predict a 1-0 win. Going with the way we play. Yes.
Okay.
I wish it would be Nigeria's. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, all things being equal, I expect Nigeria to win 2-0.
Nimi, what's your prediction on this game?
On for only 1 month, and Chioma is now in the streets. I wonder what streets she's in the streets now. Only 1 month I've left, but I think Nigeria will win this game 2-1. There's going to be a cry from, if you watch Cote d'Ivoire games, my only advice to Nigeria is statistics show that Cote d'Ivoire has been, they've been giving them penalties from their games they've been playing. They're the home team. There's always going to be a VAR. Against Senegal, they had penalty. Against Mali, and now there's going to be
Dimi just stole my thought. As a matter of fact, I was going to say that all to this tournament, VAR has been used. Officiating has been very solid. If there's anything that I'm going to worry about in this game, it will be officiating, because this is the final game.
This is the
whatever
final.
Happens, it's still next tournament.
Remember, AFCON. If Ivory Coast host and win, they're playing the referee. That's why you see, if you watch the last match against South Africa, when Bassi defends, watch his hands. There was a ball that touched his hand. I don't know if you guys remember. It touched his hand, but it was at his back. Anything we're doing, you see, Iwobi. You see Al Hassan, when they brought Al Hassan, that one just they follow. Like say they follow.
It was a lazy swing.
Like say they follow cow. They walk. You have to use your head. That's why because the pressure. But you know what I'm talking about now? Going to the home of Ivory Coast in a Nations Cup final. Remember the game against Senegal?
Drogba almost on the pitch.
Reggie, let me say something. The game against Senegal. Remember, Senegal complained that the referee was biased.
He was sent to.
The game against Mali. Remember, Mali players even chased.
They wanted to kill the referee.
They wanted to kill him. The game against Congo. Remember the Congo goal? To me, that goal, the one the goalkeeper dropped, and the Congo complained to about the referee. All the games there has been ever since the knockout stages, the other countries have complained. So Nigeria has to be very, very, very careful. I know the boys know this. So
yes, well, I was going to predict 2-1 as well. Cote d'Ivoire will score. They will score Nigeria. Nigeria will score, and Nigeria will win 2-1. If it's not 2-1, then it's going to be on penalties. Just to buttress what Nimi said, Super Eagles have to be very, very careful. And this is the last game. The referees in the tournament, for the most part, have been very immaculate. The way they have used VAR has been very, very commendable. And I hope that they will continue so. But being the last game and Cote d'Ivoire being the host, we know how things go in Africa sometimes. Some people can decide to just be the black sheep in the family. So if if things go well, the officiating is what we have seen for the most part in the tournament. I see a Super Eagles 2-1 win against Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire, of course, will come out and at some point it will break. But if they do that, that will also work against them behind, because I know that we have the tools behind them to hurt them. They don't have a very good defense. Apart from the organization that Seri has brought in their midfield, defensively in the flat four that they play, I don't see anything that Nigeria cannot break down there. It's just that we have to be careful with the referees. Just on the final note, Ubum, is there any key battle that you identify in this game? Just with 2 or 3 people that you think that, hey, if who can win these battles, then is a goal.
It would be Frank the Tank playing against Fofana. Fofana is very cunning, a very good player. A player I really like. If we are able to nullify Fofana, I think he has the key to that Ivorian team because he drives everything. So as for Seri, I'm not worried about Seri because I believe even with Moses Simon on him, he doesn't have the legs anymore. He's a good player, but he's an old guy. He can almost match players in terms of physicality. So the battle between Frank and Fofana is key. Dika playing against Osimhen is key. Dika is a very tall player, plays for, I think, Eintracht Frankfurt or so in Germany. Very good. Is it Roma? I can't remember where he plays again, but he's a very good center back, tall, left-footed. He will be playing against Osimhen. That's a key battle. Those are the 2 I can think of right now. I don't know whether they will play Nicola Pepe. I don't think they will start him. They've been playing him as a sub, and so him and the tricky 19-year-old boy that they have in their team that's also a very good dribbler. With those guys, I trust our players to do the physical battle pretty well. Shemi Ajayi is a player that I'm reserving after the final to say what I want to say about him. He's impressed me a whole lot in this tournament. So I believe we'll be able to match them and beat them.
Okay, guys, our fans out there, viewers out there, you've heard what our guys have said. One of the street from Chioma, return for Nimi and Joe today. We're all rooting for Super Eagles, and we hope that Super Eagles will come home with the trophy and come home with the 4th AFCON trophy for Nigerians. It's a very trying period for the country right now, especially economically. This will be a kind of respite for the people of Nigeria back home. We also commiserate with some of the fans who have lost their life, especially after South Africa was awarded penalty in the last game. And we hope that in their memory, the Super Eagles will come home with this trophy. So let us know if you agree with our views on this game. We have made our points. We have said it how we see it. So far, the Super Eagles have been successful. I think they are the only team that have not lost a game in the tournament so far. And this is something that has to be commendable. And it will be a very good history if they can go all the way and win this trophy without losing a game. That will be very interesting. And that is our prayer and our hope for the Super Eagles.